Hey folks, so in today's video we are going to containerize a Docker app through Docker. So by the end of this video you can say that you have finally containerized a app, and today we are going to containerize a app which is made in Node.js. So you can check the repo out. I will link that in the description. So it's a basically a fix my YAML app which is a YAML formatter. You can check it out from the description. The link of the GitHub repo is in there. So if you are completely new to Docker, I already made a video for complete beginners. You can check that out. I will list that again in the description. So if you don't know what Docker is, it's highly recommended to check out that video that will cover in depth. So basically Docker is used to make containers. These containers will combine your app and all the dependency which are required to run your application. There used to be a very popular meme which is it's work on my machine. So Docker basically solves that problem. First of all, there's a prerequisite that you have to download a Docker desktop. So I had provided a link in my GitHub repo. Just click on that. It will take you to the docker.com, and here you can download Docker desktop. Although in the previous video I have walked you through the process of downloading Docker 2. And the other thing is you can download Node.js, though it's not compulsory, but it's a good practice to run the application locally first. It will gives you a clear idea about the app, and it somewhat plays a role in Docker too. There's a Dockerfile which we are going to see just in a bit. We write a command there, cmd. There we write how we can start our application. So if you have a basic knowledge of how you can start your application locally, that surely helps. You can fork the repo, and a star would be very generous. So then you can just clone from here. If you don't know how you can clone, just type on Google how can you clone a GitHub repo. You can see that you have to use git clone and the URL that will clone the GitHub repo into your local repository. You do not have to master everything, but you should have a basic understanding of the important file, what it does, is there any specific ports the website is listed on, and how you can run it without containerization, I mean locally. So here's our code base. We have a HTML file, we got some a package.json, we got a Docker file, we will talk about it just in a bit, and here's a server.js file. And if we scroll down, we can see that it is listed on port 3000. That will be very crucial moving forward. You can also see there's a Docker file too. Let's just click on it and let's just go line by line what it is. So first of all, we have from node 20 alpine. So what does that mean? So the first line we have to write the operating system. So we are going with official node image. And what is alpine though? So alpine is a small Linux distribution, so the image size is smaller. And if you think about it, that pretty much sums up Docker, cause that what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to reduce the image size. The next line we have work directory, WORKDIR, and we have written app. So what it does is that here's our host machine, and inside our host it's our container. It makes a slash app directory. It makes a directory called app in which our app is going to be stored. So it is inside the host, so it is inside the container. Now the next thing is we have to copy our package.json. We are doing it because it has all our dependencies, so we have to copy the dependency and run npm install. Means now that we copied our package.json, now run a npm command to install our package.json dependencies. After that we will copy other thing like our server.js, and this dot mean basically all other things which are required to run the app. Then we expose a port which is port 3000, so it should be listed on port 3000. So copy dot dot basically means it copy rest of the app into the container, and expose 3000 means that inside our container it is listed on port 3000. Now if you go back a bit, in the server.js we have seen that it is listed on 3000, but if you think about it, it is basically the port of our host machine. It's our host, so it's 3000. And after we expose our port 3000, that is basically of our container. Now we want that we can access our app which is inside our container from our host. So we have to do mapping of it. So that's where port mapping comes in. So to do port mapping, you have to write -p and the port of the host machine and the port of your container in which your app is running. And then basically cmd means command, so you just have to write npm start. That's why I had said previously that you should have at least basic understanding of how your app can run locally. That will surely helps in the command. And make sure that when you write it, make sure to separate it through a comma. So it's basically starts your node.js server. All right, so most of things are clear, I guess. So let's just do not waste more time and run our Docker app. So before running it, we have to build our app. And what it does is that it reads your Docker file, downloads the node.js image, installs all the required dependency which is required to run your application, and creates an image for your application, a Docker image. So I want to demonstrate it in directly Docker desktop. So let's just open our Docker desktop. All right, so when you open your Docker desktop, you will see a similar UI. You have to click here on the terminal. All right, now we are inside our terminal, so we can write here docker build. T is basically a tag, so you are giving your Docker image a tag. If you do not give a tag, Docker will automatically give it one for you. So let's just run, and our image is building. Let's just wait, it will take some time, and the build is complete. So let's just run our first container. Alright, for running your first container, you have to write docker run command, and this hyphen name will give a name to your container, and it is recommended to give a name. So basically the hyphen name gives your container a name. It can be anything. We have named it fix my YAML, and we did a port mapping. For to performing a port mapping, you have to write -p, that stands for port, and you have to map the port. In our case, the host, and here we have demonstrated it. Our host and container both has a port of 3000. So we have mapped it, and here is the name of the image which we have built earlier. So let's just copy it and let's just build it, and here it is. We got a localhost 3000 link, and it is working fine. So with that, you have containerized your first Docker app. You can play around with this app a bit if you want to fix your YAML file, but to getting more hands-on practice, you can delete the Docker file and rewrite yourself. You can try multi-stage build with it. I think that's it. So make sure to drop your thoughts